Now then, Jamie Clarke, you're very welcome to studio.
Hey Joe.
Good to have you back.
Good.
Last time you were in this building was somewhere around 2017.
17, yeah.
So, short version here. Debut in 2010. A season out in 2016. Spent in New York, largely. Back for 2017. A quarter-final against Tyrone. And then last year, largely New York again. You played for New York against Leitrim. A lot of people would have seen that. Yeah. That is the very, very broad Armagh version of your career at the moment.
Yeah. I think it was 8 years in total now.
Yeah.
Minus the two out. But
you feeling old?
No, not at all. I feel great, to be honest. Again, I was just refreshed and revitalised coming back again with. I just feel like I'm back. It's like my first year in the team again, which is great. I suppose there's that edge. I have that edge to always want to push on and get back to where I was.
What age are you now? 29.
29, yeah.
Okay.
Something, I don't look at it like that at all. I just take each day as it comes, and it could be 33, it could be 36, 30. It's. Michael Jordan said he was going to play till he was 50, didn't he?
He still talks like he wants to play.
Yeah.
So you've returned 2 games, or 3 games Armagh have played so far, 2 draws, 1 defeat. You were sent off in the Clare game.
Clare, yeah.
Yeah, so a draw against Kildare, second game was against Clare, and then Meath followed. So you're back, you're playing, you're here certainly for this year anyway.
Yeah. Again, I've once I committed at the start of the year. We had a really good pre-season, to be fair, and the boys worked very hard, and I think the McKenna Cup was pretty good, and I suppose there was a step up of coming into the league. The Kildare game we let slip, same with Clare, and at the weekend, obviously I was out, but again, we're doing a lot of the things right, but I suppose the mistakes that we are making are the ones that we're making at training, you know what I mean? So right. It's carrying over, so it's just about adjusting, but I think we're doing a lot of our things right, and again, it's just about being more ruthless and more clinical come game day.
And you're appealing your red card, are you?
Oh, I appealed it. I didn't get off, so I'd missed the Meath game. Yeah, look, it is what it is. I thought it was soft enough at the time, but
Kieran McGeeney said there was contact with the chest, and for various reasons the referee thought the contact was made with the head.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't ever, go at a player or go at a team for feigning injuries or anything like that, but I think, yeah, it was from our point of view, it was a bit of a shock at the time. I suppose it's part of the game where, the arms maybe go up a bit, but again, it's just moving forward, it's about keeping them down.
Yeah, well, it's a lesson learned,
Yeah,
I mean, if you make contact with someone's chest, the way the game is now,
yeah,
you can't be absolutely shocked if they go down holding their head.
Yeah, I get that, and I understand, teams going out of their way to win games, but I don't think it's something that I'm going to adapt, or despite, you can call it, maybe, I don't know, you call it naive, but I just think there's something about, even about Gaelic and the way it's played and the history of it and the culture, you kind of just want to, is always a big believer of the physical contact of the game and it being a physical sport, so I get a lot of it, so it's, I don't mind, it's just part of the game.
And were you livid when you saw a person go down holding their head?
I think I was just more, shit, I'm letting the boys down here, one of those moments where, and again, it goes back to, I suppose, the amount of training you put in and how little games there are, and it's like, that there's only so few games, so you kind of want to play every game. And ultimately, if, we dug it out, but if we had the 15 on the field, we probably would have won on the day, but these things happen in sport. It's better, I suppose, doing it now and learning it, moving forward into the summer.
When did you arrive back home from New York?
September.
Okay.
End of September, so I trained for a few weeks on my own. So I was in good enough shape coming back in with the boys, and it had been tough now. It had been a tough pre-season, but Very enjoyable, I suppose, is the main thing. Boys getting on great together, and I suppose we spend most of the week together as well. So it's you're going from family to your best mates and your teammates, which is great, you know.
Yeah. I had got the real sense from you in 2017 when you were in here and you were having that very good season that you wanted to almost stay and really build an Armagh career and have 5, 6, 7, 8 really good years. Yeah. I was quite surprised then actually when I saw that you headed off to New York. So were you having misgivings or doubts even as you were saying that in studio, or did that come later?
I think, I suppose that's why I maybe pushed the media off for a bit. It was kind of one of those things where post 2017 season, like I knew I was going before that, and I think when I did return, maybe wasn't ready off the pitch, that is. So just my own personal space and getting things right career wise, and just ultimately being happy. You know, I think maybe we've all probably been a wee bit too shy in saying that, and it's just, I suppose, just getting those things lined up as well outside of football.
So expand on that for a second. You have this year in New York in 2016.
Yeah.
An enjoyable year, a good year.
Yeah.
You're trying to get your career in a place.
Exactly. So there was always the passion with the football. Like that was never an issue. That was never in doubt. It was just trying to get something
else
that was right for me and I could do the right thing.
And it was fashion, wasn't it?
It was. And again, it's the grass is always greener. So I'm in New York and I don't have the football, so it's something had to give. And I think ultimately it was just about finding that balance.
So when you came home from New York in 2016, had you got your career to a point where it was good, or did you come home from New York in 2016?
It was. It could have been grand, but you know, I'm not comfortable with grand, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
And
so where were you in terms of the fashion world, or trying to make it?
I was at an internship level, but again, it was ultimately trying to even figure out what I wanted to do
within fashion.
Exactly, right. Whether it was styling, and I was looking at masters in fashion buying, and ultimately I came to the decision where I want to do my own thing.
And when you came home and had this very good year on the field for Armagh across 2017, was there much going on for you off the pitch?
Well, there were bits and pieces going on and things going on, and I was with the bank at the time, and
but that's not what you want to do.
Exactly. It was kind of just like,
I need a job if I'm going to be home.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah,
you're not the first or last GA player who's here for the football and just doing a job to tick the box. Okay.
I think maybe the football, and when things are going well, covers that up, and you're at such a high. So post Tyrone was just like quarter-final of the All-Ireland, you know, beat well by your big rivals, and it was just a complete, you know,
the arse falls out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And
that was a great summer. I remember talking to you, and it was a very sunny summer.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was great games. Did you play Tipperary that year?
We played Tip, then we played Kildare, Tyrone. Yeah.
You got a great goal in one of those games as well.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, there was a sense of momentum.
Exactly. Yeah.
Vibrancy to your summer.
Yeah. I think it was one of those things where it was a fulfillment, personally. You know, where I was starting to make it happen because at that level, you know,
people were saying this is the Clarke delivering on his potential.
Exactly. I think there was all the talk around that time, and
so what's life in the bank like?
Listen, it was. You learned a lot, you know, about the corporate world when I was there. It was a great experience, but again, ultimately, it wasn't for me.
And you know that I'm not going to be here in 20 years.
Yeah, and I think I didn't want to
risk that.
It wasn't so much risk it. It was kind of, you know, I didn't want to let the people down when I was working. Maybe you can end up doing that by taking these things on, and I think it was...
As in, they're investing their time in you.
Exactly.
And you're going to turn around in 5 years and say, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough. And so, like, are you up in your bedroom after work of a given night when you have a spare few minutes, still reading up on fashion and sketching out your own designs, and that's still occupying a lot of your thinking space, or had you tried to park all that?
No, that's a huge part of it now, so I think it's well underway at the minute with the brand.
Your own brand?
Yeah. I'm actually working with a guy at the minute in an independent store. He's his own store in Dundalk, Pinstripe Punk it's called.
Right.
And we just returned from London there, so we were on a buy-in trip in London, which was great exposure.
So you're buying materials?
Buying brands for his independent store.
Okay.
Yeah, so both of us are kind of merging together now to develop our own premium menswear brand.
Right, okay.
So it's exciting, and
so when you say developing your own menswear brand, you're effectively designing...
making clothes, yeah.
Premium clothes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the market like in Ireland? Is that flooded, saturated?
It's not, you know, I suppose, you know, even stepping back from fashion, I think a lot of people, you know, over the last couple of years are going that independent route and going the entrepreneurial route. But again, it's about, well, I always found it was about that passion. So whether it's kind of, we want to, you know, through the brand, I want to showcase nearly who we are and the lifestyle we kind of live, you know. So hopefully we can showcase it through the fashion label, and you know, the coffee could come into it at some stage, you know what I mean. So it's about that, leaving that door open for those sort of things.
Well, I was just reading the other day, the coffee culture in this country has gone off the charts. There's an unbelievable shortage of baristas.
Yeah.
It's like I wish I had the piece to hand. I literally read it just the other day. I was I think it's gone up like 200 or 300% or something in the last 12 months even. And I thought 2 years ago we're reaching a point where there's not room for any more coffee shops, and it just keeps on happening.
Well, I think once the new one, it's like the snowball, it's the exclusivity of it, where people are looking the next thing, like the next Instagram photo, or you know what I mean, like so it's but yeah, listen, it's not a bad thing either, you know. People are writing about it.
I think it's better than all of us sitting in a dark pub.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So I mean, like, perfect world down the line, you might have your own space, which is a place you go and hang out and have some coffee, and there's fashion, and who knows where it goes, or have you got a fairly
well, ultimately it's going to be online. We're going to have an online presence, so obviously kind of Ireland being our base, and you know, kind of branching out there to Europe and just maximising the contacts.
Okay.
Be abroad and across the water, you know.
And when's all this likely to reach our consciousness?
Well, we're looking at autumn winter at the minute for our first collection, which will be our staple pieces. It's exciting, you know. It's
but this seems like this is what you've been working towards.
Exactly, and I think it's, again, that's why I don't regret even going away last year, because you learn a lot about yourself. You know, it's not all bright lights. There are moments where you maybe question what's going on here and what am I doing here. But
cities are lonely places as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. So the likes of humility and, you know, maybe understanding what's most important to you, stuff like that kind of really sets in, that maybe might take more time for me than it takes for somebody else, you know. So, you know, because everybody's different. Sure. Everyone's different.
And in the midst of all that, were you interning again at a fashion place in New York last year, or what were you doing?
Yeah, I was, and I was working in the bar as well, which was grand. You know, you'd be surprised the people you meet through a network. So the networking was great, you know, over there as well. But again, like most Irish people that go over there, I kind of just live the same lifestyle where you're working in a bar and trying to make something of yourself as well. So
this is obviously like a passion, clearly, and so is this the kind of thing where you might be the starving artist and you're going to do something you love, or is there a businessman inside you who also wants to make a bit of money at his thing and this thing to flourish and do really well?
I think I want to. It's both. So it's kind of like a case of, by doing something you love and being passionate, I think it will allow for that to happen naturally. Obviously with the business brain on, you know what I mean.
Because you've had to go out and get funding and put this whole thing together, I presume.
Well, exactly, and I think this is why I want it to be right. So it's even that's why it's maybe taking me this length of time. So like so many people that can jump into things 21, 20, and like, don't get me wrong, through my 20s I failed at a lot of things, and I think maybe that has led me to where I'm at now. You know, the whole thing might go
up.
Exactly, but
there's a pressure when you've got other people's money.
Exactly.
As well,
I think so. Yeah. But Yeah, no, I think it's going in the right direction for me anyway. I don't have that maybe doubt, or that kind of that worry about that sort of thing, because I just feel that I'm doing the right thing.
And are you hanging around Dublin at the moment? Are you full-time working at this?
I'm based in the dock in the independent store. So but I try and get up as much as I can. With mates up here as well, which is great. So
and have you got all your main pieces ready to launch, or are you still working on them?
No, we have. We're at the minute we're collecting samples at the minute, so we've got a couple of samples out. A few tweaks we need to make on them, but look, it's about getting it right. It's about getting the product right, and even if it takes beyond Christmas to get it right, I think that's because it's our staple piece, so it's not going to be.
Will you get one chance to make a first impression as well?
Exactly, yeah.
Don't bring back boot cuts. That's all I'm asking you.
Yeah,
you can do what you want. I just don't want boot cuts.
They're coming back themselves.
That's what I'm seeing them. I'm seeing. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah. Have we forgotten? Your soaked boot cuts walking in the rain.
Oh, I know.
Cut to pieces.
Yeah. Cut them off at the bottom.
No, they still seem to get cut. So, what kind of? This is where I'm out of my depth. Okay. What kind of clothes? It's a very broad question. Do you like? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so I don't want to give too much away here.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, we'll have you back, and you can come in studio and show us what you got, and we'll try.
Well, I think it's about, like I said, showcasing who we are as people. But look, I'm a big fan of kind of the natural, classic, keep it simple style. So a classic wardrobe with a contemporary touch with it.
Okay.
Again, like there's a lot of Scandi brands out there, Scandinavian brands that are very simplistic, very clean. And maybe it's about me having gone away to New York, Paris, Melbourne, and putting it all together and giving back to what people want here. And I just feel that there's a premium market here for that.
Okay. Good. Well, come back in when this all launches and talk to us about it. Is the passion and the excitement of having a football in your hands and trying to do something fun and expressive on a pitch still there?
Unbelievable, yeah. And I don't think that will ever go. And I think it'll always be part of who I am. It's great, Joe. Just even being back with the lads and being part of. I don't think we've ever been closer and been I suppose having been away, probably a lot of boys asked themselves questions, and even just chatting to them and stuff like that, they stepped up a lot too. There's several of the lads there that really, pushed the thing on and, really set out a plan for Armagh and where they want to take Armagh. And they deserve a lot of credit for that because, like myself and Stefan come back this year, we mightn't have been there for them, and so they were kind of planning. But I suppose us back now as well, we can step up as well, and we've a lot of young talent coming through.
So I was reading that there's been great work done, and the generation of 02 have across the board put in a lot of hours, and there's been a group which were worked on from even under 12s, under 14s, right the way through, are starting to come through now at senior levels.
Well, exactly, and I think that's the thing about Armagh and Armagh football, that people love it, and I suppose those guys in 02 created that kind of aura about the place, and I think even between the public and the media, Armagh are always here. You know what I mean? And people are kind of waiting for something to happen with them, and I suppose that being part of it hasn't. And our job is to make it happen.
Because on the outside, McGeeney is obviously getting criticism. They haven't won a game in Ulster, and all this kind of stuff is thrown at him. So it's interesting you say we feel closer and things feel really good. Because you could, if you didn't have all the information and you weren't part of the camp, from afar you could spin the narrative that this thing is drifting away, it's about to fall apart. He's coming to the end of 5, 6, 7 years. How long can he stay there? Seeing that that kind of mumbling is what's been said.
But what people don't realise probably is that Kieran's thinking of longevity as well. He's trying to set things in place, not just go in to win maybe 1 year and then the whole thing fall apart. He's trying to get a consistent level throughout the board, whether it's a you know, even at a board level,
Right.
like it's nearly like making sure that everything's done
the right way.
exactly.
Because we had him at a roadshow last year, pre-All-Ireland one. Jim McGuinness was
Yeah,
there,
that's
and
right.
James Horn, and he was there. And geez, he's impressive. Like, he's very personable.
Yeah,
There's a dry wit there as
Yeah.
well. And he's a deep, deep thinker about the game.
exactly. Yeah,
Thinks analytically about the game. He's a
Yeah.
serious person.
I think innovative is probably the best way to describe it.
There was a moment where him and McGuinness and Horn started talking
Yeah,
tactics.
yeah.
And you got a real glimpse of him countering a few things McGuinness was saying. And he was a few steps along in the argument, you know.
Well, even I watched it, and it was even you could even feel watching it that there's a bit of like.
Creative tension.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is good, you
Who's
know.
going to out-tactic each other
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
But you know, McGeaney was not just Asher,
Yeah,
you
no.
know, whatever. Players
Exactly.
play.
But
He was thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think that comes down to being passionate about what he's doing.
Can you give us a sense tactically in broad terms? Obviously, you don't want to betray secrets. What are Armagh about here? Like in terms of the football brand that you're trying to play? And I appreciate on certain days you will go out
Yeah.
and it will look hideous because things don't work. But in
No, well-
an ideal world, if Armagh are humming, what's the
You're right.
game plan?
Like if you look at some of the smaller teams, like you know, I think we were all given out a couple of years ago about lesser teams not being able to compete, but they're adapting to systems now, which is allowing them to develop. You know, and you know, this personally, I don't really mind as long as the sport's evolving all the time. But from an Armagh point of view, we always had our belief that we were footballers, and we were, you know what I mean, coming right through. We always were big into kicking the ball, and like we have the skilled players. So again, it's just about maximising our game plan to suit our team, and you know that just happens to be kicking the ball and playing football at speed, and no different than the likes of, I don't know, Kerry, Dublin. Like teams try and play the game the right way, and I think, you know, there's something about that. I don't know whether it's the way maybe Johan Cruyff at Barcelona. It's that kind of mentality that, you know, there's a better satisfaction, even with the club across Crossmaglen. There's a better satisfaction of doing things, and when you, especially when you win and doing it the right way, you know.